How's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War series. Today we're going to be covering episode 3 in today's review. And we have a couple things going on. We have Ichigo versus Kyuuge, we have the Quincy's invading Soul Society, Uyu doing some research on the Quincy's and trying to figure out what's going on, among other stuff. So, yeah, let's talk about this episode. Now, just to give everyone clarification, I'm practically anime only going into these episodes. I'm aware of certain events coming up just because years ago I didn't know there was going to be a 1000-Year Blood War series. This was prior to the announcement, so I did a lot of research and kind of looked things up and looked up specific manga chapters just to see how certain fights went in the 1000-Year Blood War. But for the most part, I'm going into a lot of this blind, so I kind of just wanted to just throw that out there as a disclaimer. But anyways, we should probably talk about this episode now. Now, with that said, apparently, from my understanding, this episode adapts 6 manga chapters, which, that's quite a lot. Usually, episodes cover between, 2 or 4, usually when they're doing, one-on-one adaptations. But 6 in one episode, that tells me that there's quite a bit of content that's either being skipped or kind of rushed through. With the addition, we have anime original scenes within these episodes too, so it makes me wonder what all content is being cut. So if you're a manga reader and you're watching this episode, I want to get your input on the stuff that's potentially being cut out or being added here. What are your thoughts about this episode in particular? I'd like to hear it. I'm very curious to see what you think of this episode or the 1000-Year Blood War anime so far. But anyways, the highlights for me when it comes to this episode is Ichigo versus Kyuuge, along with the Rancor forming Aeon, which actually takes them down for a little bit. But you get to see how powerful Kyuuge is himself, and how overwhelmingly powerful he is to everyone in that area. Besides Ichigo, of course. But everybody else is struggling against him. Even when the Rancor summon Aeon to basically take him down, it's only for a little bit. As he comes back from that and becomes super powerful as he absorbs all the reishi in the area, even absorbing from Chad and Orihime. And it just goes to show how overwhelmingly powerful he is and overwhelming his final form is. It actually looks really cool. I actually like how it looks in the anime. But that whole section of the episode was pretty well done, in my opinion. Then you have Uyu, who's looking into what's going on as he suspects that Quincy's are involved. But he's led to believe that he's the last Quincy, so what's going on? What is his dad hiding from him? So he's searching for the answers in the library at his place. His dad's like, yeah, you're not going to find anything here. But then he goes to his dad's office, and that's when he kind of discovers the truth. And he's questioning his dad. He's like, what's going on? Please tell me. I need to know what's going on. And his dad just won't tell him anything, so he runs off. So, I don't know. I thought that was really nice. From my understanding, that's an anime original scene, so if so, that actually adds some context to the manga, so that's pretty nice. Now, one part in this episode I thought was pretty crazy was that Mairi confirms with Captain Yamamoto that it was his division that killed those Rakungai souls. He killed a lot of them, and it was done because of maintaining the balance between the world of living and the Soul Society. Which Yamamoto basically is like, why did you do that without my permission? And Mairi basically barks back. He's like, well, actually, if I may say so myself, it's because of you that this actually happened in the first place. It's because you couldn't kill that man, referring to Yhwach. I don't know, I thought this whole scene was pretty interesting, so most likely next episode we might be getting the backstory of Yamamoto and Yhwach. And speaking of Yhwach, he invades Soul Society as Ichigo is preoccupied in Hueco Mundo. So him and his soldiers invade the Soul Society, and I like how it's portrayed. Yhwach is seen as overwhelmingly powerful, and just his presence alone is causing a lot of reishi to just emanate in the area. And a lot of people are already dying within this episode, and some people are being maimed, including Lieutenant Kira, which I actually like Kira, so yeah, wasn't too happy about seeing what happened to him, but it's kind of crazy how violent that whole scene was. So yeah, I gotta give props to the anime here, because the previous anime series would have darkened that out. But yeah, I just like how overwhelmingly powerful the Quincy's are portrayed to be. So I don't know, that's probably one of my favorite aspects of this series so far. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention here that I really liked in this episode was the OSTs used here. Because we got some old OSTs used, but with a new remix. Like, the one that was most notable was On the Precipice of Defeat. I like the new mix for this track. And I believe Ichigo's Hollow theme was also remixed in this episode. So those sounded really nice, and I believe one of the sad themes from the original series was also a remix. I don't know, but all of it sounded really cool. Now, to me, overall, this was a pretty good episode. It was very entertaining from front to back. I will say that the animation wasn't quite as good as in the previous 2 episodes. And overall, I think I enjoyed the first 2 episodes more. But seeing as this is the beginning of Bleach and those were the first 2 episodes, they had to basically be like stellar from front to back. So, not really knocking this episode, but it's pretty clear that the animation wasn't quite at the same level as episodes 1 and 2. So I think it was actually a good call to split this series into 4 separate cores so that it maintains the quality, so that if there's any dips, it's not super noticeable. But to me, this was still a pretty good episode overall. Alrighty guys, that's all I got for this episode review. So overall, it's a solid episode overall. I give it an 8 out of 10. So guys, in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you're a manga reader, what do you think about this episode? Are you happy with it? Are you dissatisfied with it, with maybe it cutting out too much stuff or adding some stuff that maybe you didn't think was necessary? I'd like to hear your thoughts either way, so post your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You guys have a good day or night wherever you're at, and I'll see you all later. Bye.